Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio in studio with the authors of a book called The Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy, Dan Merchant and Scott Taylor. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Great to be here, man.
Where'd you get the idea for this book?
You know what? We looking out our window and watching the people go by and wondering why the women go into Starbucks and stay for 4 hours and what in the heck are they talking about in there for so long? I think that's sort of the genesis. We started getting the creeps, and you know how men have this feeling, kind of an intrinsic thing, that you got this feeling that there's something going on we just don't know about? There is.
Yeah, we were working, and we were a little distracted trying to make some money to pay all those bills, Dan, was the problem.
First of all, for those $4 cups of coffee.
Yeah, plus tax. Portland, there's no tax, but I'll tell you what, you still pay.
Well, the thing that was interesting, Tom, is we started to research a little bit. We started to first. Scott and I got together and just started swapping stories. We've been married each, between the two of us, 33 years and 6 kids, and we started noticing things about the neighborhood. And again, we talk about the Starbucks or just we start sharing stories. And when guys get together, we don't usually talk about relationships. We talk about how the Seahawks got jobbed in the Super Bowl. We don't sit down and talk about husbands and boyfriends and all that kind of stuff. And so it occurred to us that the women are getting together and sharing information on us. We overheard a conversation at a swimming pool where these 2 women were talking, and they were complaining. This one woman was actually complaining about having to go to Hawaii for the vacation again. We got to go to the Big Island again. I'm thinking
it's an outrage.
The guy is busting his hump at the office to be able to afford that. And then they start talking, and the woman is basically giving pointers to her friend about how to spin that into a trip to Malta instead. And you're like, what is going on? The world's upside down, and we're just starting to connect some dots here, Tom.
Look at that. So you sat down to write this book. What's it about?
Well, basically, it's Oprah will like this. It's a fiction that turned out to be true. It's the story of an internet millionaire, sells his company. He achieved the American dream and made all the money God would ever want a man to have. And now the dude's got nothing to do. So he goes home, hangs out, and starts to see that we've been hearing. You go to work and you come home and you have these. The wife will hand you the kids and go, I've had a crazy day. I got to get out of this house, talk to some grown-ups.
The crazy day was trying to get back home in time from the pool so that you wouldn't see your feet still being wet. And if you look, test the floor out when you walk through the door. It's probably still damp. Unbelievable.
So we're like, wait a second. So while I'm getting reamed by the district manager without the courtesy of a reach around, the kids are in school for 6 hours, aren't they? What's really going on here? So that's really what we started observing. We started asking questions. We started asking things like, why do 10 Hummers and 3 Explorers and a Sequoia pull into the Starbucks at 9:04 a.m.? It's like, wait, the school, they just dropped off at school. They're
normally empty.
Hours.
There's no groceries in them because, remember, we had to stop at the store, Tom, could we pick up the bread or the milk? God forbid they did that in the 12 hours that they had sitting around at the pool. But, we've got to rush home from work to make sure that the milk is at dinner on time.
And then you have to hear how hard they worked all day.
Yeah, well, see, but that's the thing. We believed it. Let me tell you, when I came home from work, and my wife would do just like Dan said, great defense is a strong offense. They'd come at you right out of the gates, blast, and the kids would be screaming. Did you ever think that maybe she pinched the little kids before you even got in the house? That's why they're crying? Or they've been cooped up in daycare for the past 12 hours? I mean, it's a possibility. We found out that it's more than that.
So the Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy is a fictional account of guys we all know, and basically what men in this society are up against. It's like back in the day, a man who was holding up his end of the deal. He was going out, he kept the job, he's paying the bills. That was a thing to be respected. Now we're getting demonized.
Homer Simpson's the dad. He's the one that everybody looks at. When the hell did that ever happen, Tom? Tell us.
That's a good question. Now we've been to Portland, Oregon many times. We call it Portland. There's a lot of fat women in Portland.
There's a lot of rain, Tom. A lot of people staying indoors too much.
And dark fat
But the thing is, the guys are in good shape. That's the thing that gets me. You see these 200-pound women with these 150-pound guys walking around. I don't get it.
Well, you're based in the greater Los Angeles area, so compared to Los Angeles, there's no place on the planet like Los Angeles.
Well, that's true. But it is quite amazing. So now, Portland, of course, a matriarchal society, very politically correct. Got to be the last place in the world people would think this book would emanate from.
Well, that's true, and that's what we're starting to find out as this thing starts to come out. We're getting a little heat.
Getting heat in Portland, are you?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, in the beautiful burg of Portland, Oregon. Indeed. I had to try that on. It works. It does roll off the tongue, actually.
You know,
Tom. That's nice.
The problem is, Tom, that as Dan said, this is a fiction. I believe that the definition of a fiction is it's not true. And this guy writes a book about 1 million pieces or whatever the hell it was, and he gets popped. We write a book that we say is not true, but yet everybody wants to tell us it is true. Women have decided to pull themselves up and say, oh, that's about me. I have blonde hair. Oh, that's about me. I have brown hair. And it's really kind of funny to watch it. So Portland's somewhat in an uproar right now about this whole book.
So is the Oregonian tried to kick the crap out of you? And
the Oregonian can't keep the crap out of anybody. Come on, it's the Oregonian.
Well, what's hilarious is that, if you know how the whole local writer thing is, they love you if you write a book. It's like we're practically blacklisted in Portland. I can't tell you how many reviews about cookbooks, or even some lady in my neighborhood in the beautiful burg of Lake Oswego wrote a book about a serial killer, and she's getting play.
But Willamette Week even didn't take a swing at you guys?
Well, not yet, but we've heard it's coming.
Yeah, Willamette Week is writing an article. I believe it's coming out on Wednesday, but they've been telling us that for the last 3 weeks, so they might have been surprised.
Well, what do? They get 10 women to review the book. Thanks for stacking the deck.
That's all right. You know what? I've been in this business for a long time, pissing off women and pleasing men. And one thing I can tell you is if 10 women write lousy, nasty, mean things about your book, that's great because the guys are going to know it's for them.
Well, that's true. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to say that, guys usually don't read. Unfortunately, we found that out. But you know what? This is one book that we're selling based on two things. One, and possibly, Dan, defend this if it's not true. This is $22 your wife will never get her hands on. So when she tries to take it to the cleaners, you'll know that you've got this $22 book. And, if you send it and we'll sign it, it might be worth $23 at that point. And that all guys are saying is, we don't mind being the kings of our castle. We like that. We like the fact that you're able to stay home if we can provide that kind of living. My mom was a single mom, busted her ass, bringing up 3 kids by herself. Just every once in a while, give me a little pat on the ass. Serve me a beer at the end of the day. You don't have to fool me. I don't care if you were lying around the pool all day. It doesn't matter to me. Just say, hey, thanks. Thanks. That was real nice of you to do that. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. Well, I do believe women take that for granted. That's what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to remember Valentine's Day, remember birthdays, remember anniversaries. We're supposed to take you on a nice vacation every year. We're supposed to buy all the groceries, pay the light bill, the gas bill, the cable bill. We're supposed to buy accessories, purses, shoes, belts, and anything leather. We're supposed to, every time you walk in the mall, you look in the window, and she says, oh, look at that. Isn't that cute? And we're supposed to buy that. Whatever that is going to be in the trash in 2 weeks, we're supposed to buy all that stuff. And then at the end of all that, we're not appreciated because it's what we're supposed to do.
It's as Scott and I have been joking, it's like Valentine's Day is the same as Tuesday.
Yeah, Valentine's Day is today. Tomorrow. You got Valentine's Day coming up, but what changes? Every day your wife expects her to bring her a present. So what's so special about Valentine's Day anymore?
Well, it's funny, this book, too, women who work have gotten a real kick out of this because they're out busting their humps, too. So, if you're out there doing a job, and, they're resentful of the women who are taking the gravy train. And not every stay-at-home wife, my wife, for one, kicks butt.
Yeah, you can mention that, Dan. Go ahead.
I will. I'll tell you what. No, listen.
I know she's listening.
Yeah, she went, I hope so. She went undercover, though, for me. It's like, I can't infiltrate the Oprah Book Club. She can. She came back and was like, oh, you're right. You will not believe this stuff.
Well, Tom, Oprah's behind the whole thing. It has to be her. Right.
Well, I certainly know you guys are not going to be a selection in the Oprah Book Club. I can tell you that.
Every day at 4 o'clock, it's a closed-circuit town hall meeting. No man is watching that show.
Bunko? What's Bunko? Next time, hey, guys out there, listen, you ask your wife, what's Bunko? Is it a card game? They'll say, kind of, honey. I don't know, not really.
Do you use dice? Are there dice involved?
Does somebody win? Well, not really. Why are you asking so many questions about Bunko? It's one of the places they go. It's their lair. They go to Bunko, whether it's that, a PTA meeting, Starbucks, you name it, they're all gathering together. And when was the last time your wife talked to you in about first 10 seconds she started getting dizzy? She started sounding like she was mumbling. You think that's an accident? You think you're just tired from working? It's called the wife speak, okay? It's a design language that they've been working on for the last 20 or 30 years.
Kind of like wind talkers. It's like the Navajo World War II language. It'll numb the frontal lobe of the man. It's not that we're bad listeners. We're being hypnotized.
And then they get a new car, right, Dan? The next
yeah, somehow it happens. Well, one of the things we did, too, so we've got this funny book that tells the story of Mike O'Brien, and it's sort of, experiences that husbands are going to recognize. recognize. But like I said, it's this fiction that turned out to be true, and as a response, we've started the Husbands United Institute. So you can go to husbandsunited.com, because there has not been a place other than a forum like your show.
It's a safe haven, Dan.
It's a safe place. It's a safe place where men can talk. You know, we've got some outrageous anecdotes and stories in this book, and one of them involves a guy who pays for his wife's boob job and then never gets to touch them. You know, his friend has seen more of the breasts at the pool than he's actually seen the guy who pays for them.
But generally, when you pay for the breast, that's so the next guy can enjoy it.
And that's what we've been hearing. Guys at a book signing came up, yep. 6 months later, she was gone with the pool boy. I'm like, no, seriously, the pool boy? And he goes, yeah, the kid who cleaned the pool. I'm like, are you making that up? It's like, well, that's more made up than anything we have, you know?
That's right. No, I mean, I want the last guy to have paid for them. Otherwise, I'm not paying for them. Somebody else can pay for them.
Well, as soon as she asks you, honey, do you think I should get a boob job, just consider yourself not getting laid for about 3 or 4 months, because if you say yes or no, you still got the same thing. You got a problem. And you're going to pay for him, you're not going to touch him, and she's going to make you sleep on the couch. That's the way it works.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with Dan Merchant and Scott Taylor. Their book is called The Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
How's it swinging?
Not swinging right now, just kind of hanging flaccid right now.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. We're here with Dan Merchant and Scott Taylor. Their book, The Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy. Your calls at 1-800-5800-TOM. Let's say hello here to Jason on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Jason.
Gentlemen, how are you?
We're doing great, man. How you doing, Jason?
I'm fantastic. Hey, from what you guys are telling me about this book, I'm wondering if it should be issued to all freshman boys across the nation, along with more math and social studies.
Hey, we'd be. It's certainly a 101 class at the college level, and maybe even a high school graduation requirement. That's a great point.
I'd just like to let the three of you know that what I'm getting my girlfriend for Valentine's Day.
You're the man, Jason. That's great. Yeah, it's available at bookstores everywhere. You can go to husbandsunited.com to get the book.
Sounds like an excellent book. So you guys are from Portland. How would you say? Have you been out here in Phoenix? Have you been to Scottsdale? Do you have any idea what the men out here have to go through?
I think the men out there have a whole other level to go. The most beautiful women in the world, I think, live in Arizona, in Scottsdale or Phoenix. So I can't even imagine the brutality that exists in those marriages, because one thing's being married to an average woman, but when you're married to a beautiful woman like that, they've got to take you to the cleaners. I can't even imagine.
Well, it's the upscale suburbs everywhere. You know, it's not just the West Hills of Portland kind of thing, or Scottsdale, Arizona, or Sherman Oaks, California, or Paramus, New Jersey. I mean, it's everywhere.
I happen to have the lucky privilege to see a lot of these stay-at-home wives, and I'll tell you this much. While their husband's away, they definitely play.
Really?
Yeah, oh boy, you have no idea.
Well, you'll enjoy the Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy. Like we were saying, you get the feeling there's something going on. Guys, there is. We're just not as good at sharing notes with each other as the women are, and you'll connect a few dots of your own. It sounds like you're well on your way anyway, Jason.
Thanks a lot for the call. It's Mike in Chicago on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
Do you care, Mike?
Yes, I do.
I'm doing great.
Hey, I see these the ladies at Starbucks and the big SUVs and the Navigators.
SUVs.
That's right.
Oh.
I see them and she looks really cute or something. Then I'm like, are they really any different than whores?
Hey, did you ever see any groceries in the back of those SUVs?
No, I don't think
Not to mention lumber.
And God forbid my shirts. I know that my shirts are never there because I pick them up.
Yeah.
So what's your question? What are you getting at there?
Are they really any different than whores?
Yeah, they're not. I don't say they're whores. I mean, that's a pretty strong word to use. I think that they have a plan. They're smart. How can you blame somebody that's smarter than you? Look, Tom's got a nationwide radio show, makes tons of money. You know, I've done pretty good. I sold an internet company. Dan's done well. You can't blame people for working the system, man. The problem is that we were asleep at the damn wheel. These women took advantage of something that, look, think about back with My Three Sons and all these other shows back in the 50s or 60s where women, you know, like whoever the name, what's the show with the girl and the cocktail? The guy would go home, Father Knows Best or whatever, Tom. Because she came home, hi, honey. The martini was there.
Well, June Cleaver did the deal. You know, she was there for Ward.
Some guy in some dark room in a trench coat cut some deal with these women, and you know, we've been paying for it ever since. So how can you blame the women? I don't.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mike, thank you for the call. It's Bob in Evanston, Illinois. Bob, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing okay, Bob.
All right.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about the 150-pound dudes that you were talking about earlier. We've got the 200-pound Portland wives. They're out banging other chicks on the side while their fat-ass wives sit at home eating bonbons and drinking Budweiser.
Hey, here's the thing. Bonbons and Budweiser, that's inexpensive stuff. If that's all that was going on, there wouldn't be much of a problem. You know what those SUVs cost?
That's why they're waddling down the street.
Hey, listen, you talk about waddling down the street. I'm not talking about, you know, big women. I'm talking about women at the club that they look like, you know, little groupies that are 18 years old. I mean, we're not talking about 200-pound, you know, I don't know this Portlander thing. I'm talking about women that keep themselves in some damn good shape.
And, yeah, but I also understand what you guys are talking about, too. The ones who sunbathe and take your cash.
They don't do a lot of sunbathing in Portland. I want to tell you right now.
Hey, you know what? The problem is that...
Rain bathe, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. It's good for the skin. It's a soft, supple thing for the skin, I think.
Dark fat always looks better, and it doesn't shine a whole lot in Portland, I can tell you that.
Well,
thank you, Bob.
Have success with your book.
Hey,
thanks, Bob.
Appreciate the call. It's Gary in Michigan City, Indiana, on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you guys doing?
Doing okay.
Hey, good, man. How are you, Gary?
Pretty good, I guess. The harder I work, the more money I make, the farther in debt I go. I just don't understand it. And I told my wife, I says, I didn't have to go to work to be broke. I could stay at home. I just don't get this thing.
There's something going on. There's something wrong with the system. There's something broke with the system, Gary.
Yeah, I tell you. It's tough. It's tough out here to work, and they spend the money on $150 shoes for the kids and stuff. I just don't get this.
Well, you know what? Why? You know, I listened to Tom. Why are you letting that happen? Why have we let it happen? That's really the question of the book is why the hell does this happen?
Most guys are a bunch of pussies. That's why.
When I go to work and when I come home, everybody's sleeping. That's the trouble.
What do you do, Gary?
I work on tugboats in South Chicago.
So that's real work. You actually work.
Yeah, unlike you, Dan. I think you're a writer, so I don't know what kind of work you do.
Yeah, man. Well, Gary, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's the way the system has gotten all fouled up is that somehow men feel like we work for the women. Like, that's somehow, well, it's just how it is. Well, it's not. Have a conversation. You know, have a conversation with your wife. Say, look, I'm going to die in about 3 weeks keeping this deal up.
Look, I don't know what Dan's talking about. I'm just trying to get laid for my wife. If I'm going to buy my wife all that stuff, the least I can get is a nice back rub every once in a while instead of rubbing my own back on the couch. What the hell is that?
Thank you, Gary. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Brian on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, I know. I just said that.
I love it. How you doing, Tom?
Do you care, Brian?
No, I really don't, but I thought I'd say it anyway.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, Brian, what's shaking, man?
Nothing much. I'm out here in Scottsdale, Arizona, too, and I just wanted to comment about some of these gold diggers out here.
Yeah, there's some rocket ships walking around trying to get into your wallet.
Oh, they definitely are. But you know what? Mainly comes down to the guys don't really care down here. We're all doing our thing, too, and they need to realize that. So...
Well, you remember, gold diggers go where the gold is. That's how that works. You don't find a lot of gold diggers in Duluth, Minnesota, for example.
You're absolutely right, but I just wanted to read
Flint, Michigan, not overflowing with gold diggers.
Hey, that's why we live here, Tom.
That's exactly right. I mean, as I always say on this program, the gold diggers are not a problem. You just don't give them any of the gold.
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
Hit it and quit it.
Once you start feeding them, they'll come back to you.
Right.
Well, where's the quid pro quo, to use a long word? But, I just want to say thanks. I just want them to say, thanks, honey, for doing a great job. I mean, I told you, I grew up, my mom was poor. She got nothing. She never got anything. I'm sitting here working, and I'm not saying my wife. By the way, I'm going to go on the record officially now. This is not about me or my wife. I have 4 kids. My wife busts her ass around the house, just finished a project. Hi, honey, you're the best. But I'm talking about those other women.
Hey, that limo, that car that drove by real slowly that you thought was a drive-by wasn't your wife, so you're safe. So just stay low.
Let's take another call here. Brian, thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. Nick on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Aloha, Tom.
Aloha, Nick.
How's he?
When are you going to have a listener party in Honolulu, dude?
Soon as the station invites us.
Oh, man, we love you here. I've spread the word like you're Jesus H. Christ.
Really?
To us. Okay, check this out, you guys. Just to piggyback on what the two authors are talking about, my best friend, his wife, had to leave, family business for 2 months and left the kids with my friend, 4 and 2. He told me that it took exactly 2 hours every day to have a spot list, to have the kids' food ready, to prep for dinner, and to play with the kids. He goes, dude, this is the biggest staying at home stuff. He goes, if I could trade places with my wife and stay home, he goes, I would do it in a heartbeat. You could call me every name in the book, like emasculated and wimp or whatever.
Dude, I'm on your side, man. I'm on your side. I could, after getting the whole house completely cleaned and done, and the kids squared away, 18 holes of golf with my buddy, and I'm poolside drinking beer by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the way I'd run that show.
And this song, I need to be with adults and watch the kids, I'm stressed out and everything. He said that was the most fulfilling time in his life, because he got not only to be with his kids, but he's watching, Judge Mathis and Judge Judy. And like you said, he's popping brews at 2 o'clock, and his wife would come home and...
It's a racket!
Oh my God, the house is spotlight. Like it put the spotlight on her, and she's a cool chick and everything, but he realized, and he let us all know too, that it's one of the biggest scams going. And if you could get on that program, go for it.
And do you think he had a hard time having sex, like hypothetically, with his wife when she got home? Was that really a real hurdle for him?
He was complaining to his wife that he was just too tired to put up.
Oh, man. Man.
What?
I just don't know. It's so funny that you guys come on and talk about this, because these are all secrets that women don't want guys.
That's it. That's exactly right. That's why the book is catching on, and people are the hair is catching on fire. There's self-immolation happening everywhere, because that's it. We were doing a local radio show in Portland, and an engineer came out of the back room, said I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, and you're blowing our cover.
That's right. Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy. You got to go out there and keep the fight, man. Keep the fight alive.
Dan Merchant and Scott Taylor are our guests. More of your telephone calls are coming up.
1-800-5800-TOM.
My mom grew up, she went to a Catholic high school, and there was a picture in the yearbook of the girls who were going to go off and become nuns. And I tell you, by modern standards, you would look at that picture and go, dyke, 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 dyke.
The Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. The book is The Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy. The authors Dan Merchant and Scott Taylor. Now, I understand your book has a reversible cover?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The front cover has a very clever political statement, a beautiful stay-at-home wife with her big latte cup from Starbucks, with her hard-working man sort of subjugated before him. However, you flip the cover over, and it's we've designed what would appear to be a self-help book called My Wife Comes First, 101 Practical Tips to Improve Your Marriage and Be the Best Husband Ever. So men, don't fear taking this book home.
And knowing that women don't read a book unless Oprah recommended it, if that's not on the list, you don't even have to worry about her cracking it open.
Well, Tom, you think Oprah will put us on her list? Tom?
Absolutely not.
That's exactly the reason you guys have to go buy the book.
Look, right across the back of the book, we say it's $22 your wife will never get her hands on. Guys, we're going to get beat like a rented mule at the bookstore, because Oprah, Today's Show, Katie Couric.
It's a stranglehold.
Yeah, they're not going to put a stamp on it for us. Guys, you guys, you know the truth. We've uncovered stuff. It's controversial. We're going to get our asses kicked unless every man in America goes and buys this book.
Tracy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tracy.
I am outraged, Tom, because there is just no conspiracy. I mean... Okay,
really?
There is not. Okay.
Oh, what's your proof that there's no conspiracy, Tracy?
Okay, here we go. I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years, okay, and I went back to work. First, you know what this conspiracy is? It's you're doing this right before Valentine's Day, so these guys don't go out and buy their husbands, their wives, Valentine's
No,
Day.
we're doing it so women will go out and buy the book for their husbands to show that they're cool and they get it.
You're right, and I might do that. But first of all, I really don't think there's a conspiracy. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was the one in Starbucks. I actually was the president of the Moms Club in my upper echelon suburb of Los Angeles.
Did you ever go to Bunko?
I was what?
Ever go to Bunko or PTA meeting?
Yes, PTA, Bunko, the whole bit.
Okay.
Tell everybody out there what Bunko is, because there's people who are...
It's kind of like, it's between poker and mahjong. Okay? It's kind of like a poker game for women.
It's kind of like a bunch of chicks sitting around kind of talking about their husbands, kind of?
You know what? It's no different than you guys having poker night on Friday night and us serving...
We talk about sports. We don't talk about throwing our wife under the bus. Come on, lady.
You know what? But that's what women talk about. Okay? Men talk about sports. Women communicate about themselves. That's the whole thing.
Tom, give me a real...
So let me give you here. The American Heritage Dictionary defines conspiracy as a joining or acting together as if by sinister design, an agreement to perform together illegal, wrongful, or subversive act. So, you're saying that that's not talking about your husbands and conspiring together, sharing notes over what you call it, mahjong? What the heck? You're making that up.
Mahjong. That's something your great-grandmother played. It was a game.
Exactly.
Is that an opium den? They play those in opium dens.
They played with tiles.
But here's the thing, okay?
All right, go ahead.
You guys are putting the stay-at-home mom to shame, because you know what? I worked for 10 years before I had kids. That was the hardest job I ever had. It was the hardest job. And you know,
what about when the kids went to school? How hard did it get?
Well, she went back after 4 years.
I went back to work, okay, after my kids went to school. Okay, I did. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why. Why?
Yeah. Your job was done, basically, and you'd be bored out of your mind sitting around, getting fat, right?
Eating bonbons and watching Oprah.
So you're basically agreeing with us, so we appreciate that.
No.
Well, look, here's the...
I am. Here's the thing, though. Okay, here's the thing. I believe in order to raise a healthy child in America, the mother has to stay home with the child. And for any educated father, okay, would know that that is what you should do if you want to raise a child, is to leave them home with the mother, okay?
For the first 5 years, Tracy.
Okay, for the first 5 years, and I agree, for the first 5 years. But here's the thing, okay? You're saying that we go to these bunko parties and we go to Starbucks, and I'll tell you what, I was the one who arranged the bunko. I was the one who arranged the Starbucks.
Confessions.
Is that called a witch? What's a technical term for that?
Coven?
Yeah, no. Coven leader?
Coven. It was actually called President of the Moms Club, okay? And it wasn't a conspiracy, and I'm going to tell you why. If it was a conspiracy, there would be men joining our club. And I'll tell you what, we had one applicant. That was it. If there was a conspiracy, guys, men would stay home with the children and the women would go to work, okay? They would.
If there...
It's a choice. It's a choice that men make. It really is.
We want women...
Men do want to go to work. Men do want their wives to stay home for the first 5 years and raise the children.
Nobody's arguing that, though. See, what we're saying is, if you get to stay home, if you get to stay home, every once in a while... Just give your husband a nice kiss and say, thanks, honey. I don't think that I deserve it. Guys, I appreciate my wife staying home raising the kids. I know how important it is. All we're saying is every once in a while...
But do you appreciate the fact that they brought your children into the world and they sacrificed 5 years of their career in their life?
Okay, that's not the... Hey, Tracy, the women, we're not talking about those women. We're talking about when they're gone for 6-7 hours at school. And it's the...
School?
Yeah, because that'll happen after they turn age 5. They'll go to kindergarten, and then first grade will happen.
That's true.
Right. So then it continues.
Why are they doing it for? What are they doing it for? For themselves or for the children?
You mean stay at home or go to the pool?
Skip forward. Skip forward 5 years for a second, okay? It becomes a cakewalk after the first 5 years. It is completely different. It is completely different.
I agree.
Okay, that's what we're talking about.
I'm getting dizzy kind of listening, though.
Okay, the other conspiracy part of it, okay? And the reason why I called in is because my husband and I got in an argument last night because I actually do want to go to work.
Did you admit you were wrong?
Did I admit? No, God, no.
They never do.
Listen to me.
They never do.
Okay, I admit to that.
All right, fair enough.
Wrong. But here's the thing. by the time we go to work and we pay for daycare, okay, and we pay our income taxes, this is how it all started, we paid our income taxes last night, I don't make anything, okay? So he's saying to me, why should you go to work? Why don't you stay home, watch the kids, enjoy your life, and, you know, we're actually going to make more money that way. And so, you know, the whole point...
And what was your take on that? Did you agree or disagree with that?
I disagreed because, you know what, I want to work. I do want to work. I want to raise a healthy family, and I want to work. But my children are at an age right now where they're in school, and I want to work. Now, I chose a job, and here's the other thing, too. I sell breast.
What do you look like?
What do I look like?
Yeah, what do you look like?
I'm 39. I think I'm good-looking. I still get looks.
How often do you have sex with your wife during the week? I mean, your husband during the week.
With my wife?
No. You got me shaking up here.
We just had this conversation with some girls at work.
3 to 5 times a week?
No, God, no.
No, of course.
Oh, okay.
In the beginning, okay, when it's all fresh in you, you have it every day. That's the way it is. Once you have kids and you've been married for a while, the reality of it is that you don't have sex as much.
And what's not as much?
Is that because your husband doesn't want to have sex? Kind of? Probably not, right?
Okay. No. I think it goes both ways. I think when you're raising kids and you're both working, I think that's a different story. Now, being a
by the way, that is not exactly a great sales pitch for marriage. I want to say on behalf of all the
and just by the way, I don't care.
To this show.
I don't care how tired you are after work. A man will have sex every day.
You're right.
You know, and as often as possible.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't believe there's a conspiracy. And in the boob thing, about 3 months getting a boob job, the reason why she didn't let him pitch his boobs is because you can't do that. It takes 3 months for it to heal up.
Okay, we were talking about 5 months, and then it seemed like, but listen, it was okay for the pool boy to touch him.
What about the moisturizer you're supposed to apply during that 3 months?
That one is okay. That one's okay. But, you know, it depends on what your doctor says. This is what I do for a living. I sell breasts for a living. That's my job. Wow. So when I heard that, I think that you may...
Tracy, whose side are you on? You're on both sides of this line. You're confusing me and everybody else.
I have to admit to you something. Tom Leykis has really done great for my business.
Tom's a man.
Yeah, but and I listen to him once in a while, but I was just outraged when I heard this. I did. When you guys came on, I couldn't believe it.
We hate when that happens.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Well, break it down for me.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
I had a piece of booty call action in high school. She wanted to hook up, but she got in Crisco on me, man. You know what I'm saying? Fat in the can.
She's gone Crisco on me. I like that.
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. We're here with Dan Merchant, Scott Taylor. Their book is called The Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy. Where can folks get your book, by the way?
You know, the finer bookstores everywhere, Tom. Borders, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, or our own website, husbandsunited.com. And on husbandsunited.com, guys, email us your stories. Tell us your stories. Share your rants. We got to connect some of these dots, you know. The dude in Duluth, he's got a story that the dude in Scottsdale hasn't heard. We got to get together, fellas.
Carlos on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
Going okay.
Hey, I just wanted to comment because, these guys, what they need is Mexican women.
Tell us more, man.
Dude, I love Cabo.
Well, man, my wife, she's Mexican. I'm Mexican-American. And I leave home, I commute an hour from Hemet to San Diego. And I leave at 4. My lunch is ready. You know, I go to work.
I love that.
Stop right there. She gets a medal, Carlos. Stop right there. You're now in the 1 percentile.
Oh,
what can we do? Can we get like some sort of Anthony Robbins seminar with this woman where we just put her on the road and she brings women in and they walk on coals and then they make us dinner and stuff?
It's funny because when my wife goes to these PTA meetings, she tells them what she does, and all the white women just stare at her. Like,
they try to shush her, right? Shush. They try to shush her. I'll bet you, Dan.
Yeah, she's not right, or she's some type of freak, you know?
Wow.
Well, like, I come home, you know, everything's clean.
So true.
Dinner is already served.
Yeah, see, I've already given up on American women. I am done.
You know, and if I don't give her none, then she's mad. you know.
Oh, you're killing me.
Carlos, you need to write your book. Here's how it should be done.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess my fellow white brothers need to look more at my Mexican women.
Carlos, listen, man. You need to make sure that your wife knows how strong that is. And any time that you hear any of these other white women or any of these freaking housefraus trying to talk her down, don't let her do it, man. Keep her strong. Keep her strong.
Yeah. She's been through many tests and tribulations, and she's overcome them all.
Oh,
she's basically trying to educate all my cousins, all my female cousins, all her female cousins, you know, they're all. It's basically living in the real world today with third world mentality. You know, at the same time she works.
Hey, count your blessings, man. You're the man.
Love it. Thanks a lot, Carlos, for the call. Dan, Scott, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate being out here on the show.
The book is The Great American Stay-at-Home Wives Conspiracy. Our email address is my name. It's tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.